fourth Truthseeker music podcast. My name's Phill. I help Alex run the label along with our friend Steve. This time around I'll be chatting to the Tunbridge Wells Trio TOR to discuss the band's beginnings and the making of their new LP. The album's called Too Happy and we'll be releasing it on the 25th of May. I've also rounded the interview off with an exclusive play of the second track of the album, titled Boring. Hope you enjoy.
I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower, and climbing to the top will throw myself off in an effort to make clear to everyone what it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people are saying, my God, that stuff, she stood him up. No point in us remaining, we may as well go on as I did on my own, alone again, naturally.
Really?
Only yesterday.
You remember that off the Headquarters album?
We rolling?
Yes, we're rolling. And then we did the song Hand on it. That was good.
I'm gonna get a share.
Get a chair, mate.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Just hanging about on Phil's bed here, guys. Phil's going to get a chair there. Truthseeker fans. Because for the time being, we're hanging out on his bed. He's got a lovely beige
I like it. It's quite firm.
bed covers.
It's good.
Oh, it is quite firm.
Right, some questions. Alright, how did you all retrospectively, is that the right word, retrospectively? It's not, is it?
It depends what the question is.
Yeah,
Phil.
give us the context.
Well, you know, how did you all meet?
This is Paul here. I've known Seb since we were...
Sorry, yeah, that's a good point. Probably introduce everyone.
Sure.
I'm Seb. Hi.
What do you play, Seb?
Hello.
I play guitar.
He plays the guitar,
sometimes,
doesn't he? I'm Paul, play drums there, mate.
Hello, Tristan.
On the bass guitar, the dead guitar. I met Seb when I was maybe 14 or something like that. He was wearing a t-shirt that said...
I'm not really this short, I'm just standing in a hole.
outside the Quicks newsagent on St John's Road in Tunbridge Wells, because I had posted on the Tunbridge Wells forum message board that I was a very new starter drummer seeking a guitar player. I then played a cover of A Perfect Circle's...
That was for my GCSE. That was my my performance element of my GCSE was us two playing A Perfect Circle. Yeah.
This is tragic.
It's quite sad, isn't it?
This is the first time I've
It was the first song off 13th Step.
Yeah.
And Tristan used to do the sound for the forum, didn't you, Tristan?
Yeah.
And I guess that's how I met you.
Yeah.
He was playing in a band called Supercar.
I think that's when I first met you.
Is that the band that one of the band members got a tattoo of?
Yeah.
Is it? Was that you?
No, he's got it in bubble writing around his groin area.
Is that Tom?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Didn't Tom used to smoke cigars also?
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
You didn't want me to bring that up, did you?
No.
So we've all known each other for a long time, is what I think.
Right, okay. So that's the musical lineage of TOR.
Sure. I mean, to some extent, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, how did you find your sound? Was it like a lengthy process, or you all kind of got together and it sounded how it does?
It's Tristan's thing, really. Do you want to explain yourself?
I don't know. I rule with an iron fist. Yeah, I guess it was, I don't know. It's just what came out, I suppose. And when it wasn't miserable enough, I told him to do it again. And then it was, and I felt like we met a minimum requirement, and I think and that's when we decided we reached it.
I think you're right.
Was there an overreaching vision, or were you just like, right, we want it to be slow and we want it to be minimal?
I always wanted it to be quieter, and then these boys wouldn't shut the fuck up.
For quite a long time, the motto was quieter, slower, or quietly, slowly, or something, and that would just
slow
be the
and
command.
quieter, yeah, slow and quieter. But
I remember at first you wanted to sound like Arab Strap. That was the first thing. I remember that being like the first sort of like, that's what we're aiming
That's
for.
the nudge, yeah.
Sound like Arab Strap.
didn't make it, did it?
I think there's still a bit of Arab Strap in there. But originally there was no rock to it. It wasn't rock music to begin with at all. Was it really? It was straightforward, be as miserable and as quiet and as slow as possible.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Still,
But there was barely any distortion or any kind of guitar. I'm afraid that might be entirely my fault, and it's probably why Tristan and I don't speak as much as we used to.
it's true.
But yeah. No, that's fair. Seb, do you want to add something to
Yeah,
that?
I think we. To be honest, I think we just, you and I, Paul, sneak stuff in as far as we can push it before he tells us off. That's the sort of I'll put in a little pretty lick, and you'll go, oh no, that's terrible. Don't do that.
Well, that's another thing interesting than no. I think that we are giving convention a wide berth at every turn deliberately. So if you write something on guitar that has any
That's maybe sounds nice.
sounds nice or sounds like anything that that is in any way conventional, I mean, generally Tristan will shut it down.
Yeah, and quite rightly.
And go, no, that sounds like that, or that sounds like a metal band, or this sounds like whatever, and so don't do that. And then force you to rewrite your guitar lines like 4 or 5 times.
With that being said, then what are the lists of don'ts?
Oh, Tristan actually made a whole list of rules.
I think I did have a list of rules at one point. No,
They were
that
on
was
our drum
recent.
set.
It was a recent list, but no, I think the lists are just. I just don't do anything shit. You know, just don't. I don't know. Just don't sound like, oh, I'm the riff band. Oh, we're all gonna play the riff. Bam, bam. You know, don't give me that.
It's no hooks.
No hooks.
I seem to recall one of your rules being the guitar line
Must
can
stay the
never
same.
will be the same throughout, but would also
Yeah.
would never be the same as the bass and the guitar line would never be the same.
That's true. Yeah.
Except we broke the rule on that on the album once or twice though.
Well, inspiration only gets you so far.
But we'd approach writing from the point of view as, you know, these must never match.
Yeah, that's true. I think.
I also
that's
recall
fair.
you telling me.
I also tried to get no symbols through, but that didn't.
Yeah,
I
I recall you
right.
telling me
don't
no
like that.
symbols. We tried to write with no symbols.
That's King Crimson did that.
Well, they were onto a good thing.
Yeah, in Discipline era King Crimson, no symbols.
They knew what they were doing though.
You know what they're doing? They had, subservient bandmates. I do not, unfortunately.
So what the do's then? What are the do's?
The do's.
Follow Tristan's instructions.
All right. So you're the linchpin. You're the go-to guy.
He's the boss, man.
I'd say I'm the boss, sure, but I'm a benevolent leader.
So
What would happen is he would write riffs over drum machines that he would do in his house, in fact in his bathroom quite a lot in his spare time, and then he'd put them on Dropbox and tell us to listen to them and learn them, and then we'd turn up and I'd go, there's no rhythm here, I don't know what's going on.
And I'd
He'd
say
be like,
there's
"There
no
fucking
melody.
He'd go, there fucking is
There
rhythm.
fucking was a rhythm, wasn't there? Because otherwise, how would it be repeating if there wasn't a rhythm?
That's true. I just, we've had it, we're arguing again.
Yeah, that is what happened.
But he would basically, the thrust of it would be from his bathroom. Including just mad poems over...
Recorded in the shower, I think, right?
Some of our demos are actually much, much better than this album. They sound weirder, more...
You should release that. What are you doing? Release the album, idiot.
Get Tristan to send you his massive backlog of, stuff he recorded in his toilet, and you'd be up for there's some good stuff in there. And then we work on it as a full band, and occasionally it would work and occasionally it wouldn't, and what we've ended up with is stuff that did work over a fair amount of time.
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And with lyrics, is that again your domain?
Yes. Yep. That's true. I suppose. Am I supposed to say something now?
No. Yes.
Okay,
That's
good.
Yes. Yeah.
A man of many words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose what I'm trying to say is that the lyrics, when they come across as someone, they come across when they're listening as only the person who written could deliver them.
Yeah. I guess that's. I mean, it's the only way it's ever been tried. But yeah. That's,
I've had a go now and again.
yeah.
I've caught myself singing your lyrics though, occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for someone who's trying to purposely make them not as catchy, I do find myself,
Totally.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any hooks to them, but I've definitely.
There's phrases that.
Yeah. No, I fucking listen. This is funny. Well, it's not really funny, but.
This fucking mic, obviously.
Yeah, bloody mic bastard. I've quite recently done online dating, as you know, Tristan. I just told you there in the pub before we came here.
You sure you want to say this on the
Yeah.
recording device?
No, yeah. Well,
Shout out to
Shout out to
Well, I gave it a go, mate. But and on my, you got to write a little Tinder bio, haven't you? And at one point it
you
said,
didn't use a lyric.
well, yeah. At one point I said, because I was doing this, I was saying like, drum playing. I didn't know what to write, right?
Yeah.
So I'd write, beard having, drum playing, whatever. And then I ended up writing fucking bastard at the bottom of the sea on the end of it, just because I thought that's quite funny, and it was in my head. And got a couple of matches out of that one, mate. So thanks very much.
Do it. Well,
Is this what you intended?
you owe me a few birds. That sounds like.
No, they were unsuccessful dates, but it's it's interesting to note that I had the lyric in my head. There's no hooks, but I had it enough in my head that I decided to put it there as representative. And that I even fucking remembered it in the first place. It was.
So my favourite is the Steve from Mac line. That gets me every time.
Oh, that's actually quite
I do laugh.
So we love Andy Ramsey dearly. He's a very nice man, and his studio is really good.
Easy. Where are we going with this?
Well, when he was saying that's how that lyric came about, isn't it? I don't know if you don't want to mention it. I'm sure Phill can cut it out. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah, but that is how it came about.
Did you like the Mystique?
No, I just it sounded a bit like you were slating then.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no, none of that.
No, I wasn't going to. I was slame. I thought Andy was absolutely great.
Throwing
Only because he
shit
mentioned
around.
he had mentioned that there was too much swearing and that
Too much swearing. Do you really think swearing is a good idea? And this was when I don't know. This is when I said the first swear. I mean, there's a lot. I don't know.
There's a lot of swearing.
Do you think you should do about this swear word in particular? Because this swear word is like, I don't know. Did you say pejorative? Is that a thing said? I don't know. Yeah, it was the word cunt.
I don't use the word pejorative. But
It was like because this is I don't know the reasons why it's a bad word.
Well, we're on me, Phil, not yours.
I don't know. Anyway, I think that's what you were referencing.
Yeah, I just mentioned that it has been noted, but that we may wish to not include quite so much bad language in the lyrics, for fear of not being accessible or embraced by any kind of radio play.
Steve Lamack's
or whatever.
audience.
Steve Lamack being quite a prime
God, the
example.
Steve Lamack show is the absolute worst. You listen to it.
yeah, I listen to it. I quite like
It
it.
is fucking abhorrent. It
You know all
is
those
terrible.
those nice little licks and things I do. That all comes from Steve Lamack. So that's it.
That's oh god,
Bad.
he himself is fucking irritating.
So my friend once described him as a radio DJ that just plays his mates' bands.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I mean, it is true that Steve Lamack won't play our band. I don't know if it's necessarily exclusively to do with the lyrical content, but
Well, that's prime time. That's what 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is.
And there's also a bit of a reference to the fact that people really want to get played on the BBC, of any kind of BBC, and it's like it's still shit, and it's not even the real BBC, is it? It's not fucking Radio 1. You're not fucking Stormzy all of a sudden. It's just a fucking mug that's been played on, I don't know, who's this one? Who've we got? Fucking Tara and Clara or something. I don't know, fucking Tunbridge Wells one. There's one in Tunbridge Wells. Anyway, Kitty. I don't know. It's some fucking.
Tunbridge,
name.
like Ken, introducing Ken.
Yeah, like an Enid Blyton style. Name.
It's not really the
Anyway, but it's like it doesn't count. It's fucking bullshit. Don't get me started.
I think
Wow.
we have got you started. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that, man. I think that bands seem to be more keen to go on BBC introducing us very much as soon as possible without having written any real lengthy content. Not that it really matters, but...
Yeah, we've been
Is
going
that
at
what
this
you
for,
mean?
what, 10 years? We deserve
Yeah, I know,
it.
but we haven't said anything to BBC like, can you please play it on the radio? Please, Hugh Stevens, will you play us on the radio? I mean, Hugh's fine and everything, isn't he? But he does play any old guff.
Yeah.
But we haven't even tried,
No.
so we can't complain.
Don't try.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Can't fail.
absolutely. And it's not exactly that's true. That wasn't what I was going to say, but absolutely. If you don't try, you can't fail. Yeah, true.
How important would you consider humour to be on a listen to? So the first listen, right? So the first time you would have listened to the album, how, as the writer, how important do you see like humour within the album?
Yeah, it's got to be at least a couple of gags in every bit. There aren't enough, but it can always be more. But yeah, I think there should be a lot of gags.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that is intended to be, you know, like funny, like it's from an outside point of view, like maybe it would just go over people's heads.
Well, these people need to fucking lower their heads so they can be right in the trajectory.
I still don't get half the jokes. But I'm sure I will. Give it another 10 listens.
I think we've had a couple of arguments over the time about the jokes in the... Haven't we? I think we've had a couple of arguments. We argue about everything, don't we? But
the poultry one, I remember. That
poultry,
was-
we had a big joke about...
Yeah.
Big argument about the poultry joke.
What?
Do you want to
Whether
share?
or not
No.
it was a joke.
That's an in story.
I see, yeah. We've done a lot of arguing over...
I think that's how shit gets done, though. Really.
Raisin Deedron. I think we had a row over that one.
Dodecahedron. Yeah, raisin Deedron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dodecahedrons, that's it.
That was too far. The stretch of the word resin detra to raisin deidra.
That's where the line is.
No, but it's only got like raisin. If you have to write the lyrics down, what do you write? Raison Deedron.
I'm sure there's a way you could spell it so that you'd get the joke.
Yeah. I hope so. We've just packed them
It's
all
not
up.
much.
Yeah, the lyric sheet is in there. I can't remember how I typed it up, but yeah.
5 albums that you would, 5 albums that inspired you notably on this album. Don't mean to put you on the spot. I could have told you this previously.
Could have done good.
Yeah,
Phil.
could
That
have.
would have been good.
So 5 albums.
As has been said before, it has been noted on many occasions that Spiderland appears to be
The
a
Slint.
go-to. The slints that they have these days.
No, I think that's. I don't know.
I
Which
don't
isn't that
agree with
fair? Like, I think that...
Every time I listen to Spiderland, I always want it to be better than it is.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's got that cult thing, isn't
It's
it?
just got that. Oh, this would be good. If I like the what do you call it? Not the. I like the aesthetic, but I don't know. It's not got the tunes.
No, I agree.
Weren't
I
they
mean, it does
super
have some
young?
of the...
Weren't they, like-
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm not saying our tunes are any better. Don't get me wrong. They're not. But
I would say Philophobia in there. I say Philophobia. Tristan, I'm looking
Yeah,
for
Just at
validation.
the beginning, yeah.
if you
I'd have
like,
said-
yeah, if you like, yeah.
It's got to be.
So it's 1.
Jesus. Abstract Philophobia. I
I'd
think...
put coding in there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just because it reminds... Every time I listen to it, I think I should be knowing the riff and playing along. Because I so often don't know any of the songs that we actually play as a band that I think when I listen to that, I go, oh, fuck, I should know this. It's quite similar.
I'd say Unsolved by Karate.
Wait,
I
so
wouldn't, that's-
is this our 3rd?
I don't know what we're doing now. I'm just trying to think of
dipping
bands.
through now, yeah.
I hadn't thought about this beforehand.
So excuse my ignorance. Codeine.
It's most...
I don't
What's
listen
that
to
album
Conan.
called?
I don't know
Oh,
what
you
it's
don't-
good and called. What?
But I mean,
With Lost Leader
I'll
on it.
agree
What's
with
that
you,
called?
I don't
Baz.
know.
I'll say yes, Baz. Lost Leader.
Thanks,
That's
Tristan.
correct.
It's not the name of the album, but
We're
it's a
more
good
thinking
album.
about what, because you wrote it all, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but I don't know what. I don't really listen to music. I listen to podcasts.
This is your dream.
Hence all the talking. I would say that Harvey Milk, A Small Turn of Human Kindness is one of my absolute favourite albums. And as far as the drums go, Kyle Spence on that album is where I'd like to be as a drummer. I think that's what drags us a little bit into the doomy, droney territory that Tristan's very uncomfortable with or doesn't know anything about, and that Seb also doesn't like.
Yeah.
But I kind of drag us there by accident through virtue of really, really liking Harvey Milk a lot. So I'd say that one for me. I'd say Unsolved by Karate is pretty good, right? We all enjoy
I
that,
think we all
don't
agree on that one. We enjoy it. I don't know if it's...
I think the
an
what I can say for
inspiration,
that
but it's-
album is it's the sound of three people in a room, you know, isn't it? There's no real effects to it. There's nothing going, you know, they're not
Yeah.
manipulating in any way. It's just the sound of three people playing music in a room and doing it really well. Not saying that we're doing it really well, but I'm saying that as far as production goes, I think that that's kind of thing we were going for, right? You want to sound like a live band in a room, and I think Karate is quite a gripping demonstration of that. Yeah. Beyond that, I don't.
That's number 3.
Fucking hell.
Well, it's all that Tunbridge Wells fucking unshit as well.
It's worth knowing Unhome as well. Actually, let's say it's
Yeah,
Unhome, a
yeah.
short history of houses. Jesus Christ.
Remove the Tunbridge Wells unshit, but yeah, that
Well,
bit, yeah.
and that, you know, all of it. It's all, you know.
Well, it's actually,
as
Phil,
you
weirdly,
usually-
you said to me a while ago that it has a distinctly unsound, right? Do you remember in the pub? We had a few
like
drinks.
when the headquarters would come.
Things like
play, yeah.
Headquarters or Charlotte Field or that sort of thing, it does have that kind of unny sound without being math at all. There's no math in it, but I mean, it does have...
It's slower.
Yeah, but I think that whether we like it to or not, and we have all taken that, we would be what we all grew up with anyway, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And from I used to do sound at the forum.
That's how we know each other.
That's how me and Phil know one another.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it meant that I've done sound for fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shit bands. And I knew I didn't want to sound like any of them. So there's not a great deal left at that point. Unless you go fucking well niche. So that's what we did.
But the unlabeled stuff, I think the unlabeled stuff at that time when you were doing sound, and even before that when Lawrence was as well, I think that a lot of that stuff certainly has influenced me as far as music goes.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I'm bringing much to the table with it now. But, you know, I wouldn't
No,
like
but
the sort of
you're
shit
right,
that I
it's-
do if it weren't for all that stuff. Unhome especially, I think.
Yeah.
No one knows who Unhome is, so I guess we should...
But I was I was going to shows at that point, but I was pretty young, so I think I'm.
No, I didn't see Unhome live. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that I did. The album, A Short History of Houses, I had bought at an unlabeled night, and it remains one of my favourite albums. Man, the production is absolutely great on it. The snare drum in particular sounds fucking amazing on that album.
But then also everything that came from that, which you can see in most of the gigs that we went to see
yeah.
at a young age, was all that sort of that, like the repetition, but nothing's ever the same, but it keeps on just sort of ticking along anyway. It's all that same stuff is in there.
Yeah, crikey, you're gonna have to edit this to fuck, hey Phil? Crikey.
No, it's all there, mate. Honestly, some in the past have been tricky, but this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah, I think.
I'll obviously edit that bit out.
And we got one more to choose.
Yeah.
We got one more to choose.
Yeah, there's one more in the bag.
What would you do?
Well, I've got a
Morphine?
You have to choose something interesting because you know. It's
Oh,
all
you put morphine in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What album?
I don't know, any of them.
Just doesn't fucking matter. Just pick
Morphine,
one.
the cure for pain.
Cure for
Fucking
pain, yeah.
Wicked shit. Or yes, I don't mind either.
Yes,
No,
band.
Yes.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah, roundabout. That's what we have. I love a bit. You've heard us, right?
I mean, I
We're
love
busy.
the band, yes, that
We're
album's called Fragile, guys. It's called Fragile.
Oh, sorry,
You're talking
right.
about the-
I'm on the single. That's all I care
mean,
about.
Yes,
It's long
by
enough.
morphine, not yes by Rick Wakeman.
So Mark Sandman had the smoothest bass tone going, man, with his slide bass, and Tristan at one point considered playing two-string slide bass, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a 3-string bass.
Yeah.
But then I bought another string. So
Yeah.
I bought a string.
I never used that one though, for the record.
For the record or for the record?
But basically, Morphine sound like the shit, and it's the same sort
Yeah.
of feeling as Karate. I think is like 3 just fucking badass musicians just kicking ass, and you know,
Free Love by Morphine.
Free Love. We tried to cover Free Love once. It's
But
a great.
we haven't got a sax. That's the problem.
It's a great track though, man.
You
Free
tried to
Love.
make me play the sax on a guitar. It was never going to work.
It might have worked.
Yeah, I'd have to be a better guitarist.
It was just a mad, wretched, noisy solo.
Yeah, true.
So you'd have been all right, but yeah, Morphine.
So what was that? Just to recap, to summarise, those 5 albums.
It was Philophobia by Arab Strap.
So I've always pronounced it Philophobia.
Philophobia? Philophobia?
I don't know.
I've always said Philophobia as well, but
Oh, whatever, it's that one by Arab Strap, isn't it? It's
That's
a Small
one.
Turn of Human Kindness by Harvey Milk. Unsolved by Karate. A Short History of Houses by Unknown.
Yep.
and morphine.
And Cure for Pain by Morphine. Let's say that those are the ones.
See, I'm shocked there's no Nick Cave there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so am I.
too close to the bone. That's the problem.
Nick Cave's the best. I love Nick Cave. But, you know.
See, I think that comes across.
Alright, well, okay, let's scrap all those.
Yeah,
and put-
scrap a bit.
Well, no, it doesn't need to be said. It's fine.
And put...
Delete that. That's
yeah.
fine. Everyone knows it.
you-
Big Lazarus Dig. I know no one really likes it. It gets left behind of all the Cave albums, but it's a fucking winner. Grinder Man 2. And what's the one he did last? Push the Sky Away.
Yeah, that was
I know
great.
it wasn't the one he did last, but you know, I'm not including Skeleton Tricks.
Did you not like?
No, I enjoyed it, but it was after his record.
I
came
think
out
it was
after
similar
ours.
to the one before.
Yeah, no, similar Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just mean.
You can't possibly have been influenced by it on account of the fact that
I
our record
heard
was
it, yeah.
recorded
Yeah.
after it. After that one came out.
I mean, he's a very good, but he's not got those sort of powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
love me some Nick Cave.
What was it I was going to say we were influenced by the whole time?
Brexit.
Brexit. All the songs,
Retrospectively, we're influenced by Brexit. Every
even
song.
though this was recorded November 2 years ago, all the songs are about Brexit.
Well, they were.
They're all,
We just
you
didn't
know.
know it yet.
Yeah.
You know that lyric about sitting around in a coffee shop? God, that's fucking Brexit all over.
Classic Brexit.
Yeah.
It's funny though, isn't it, when you write something and the current affairs kind of move round it. So the longer you sit on it, the more poignant it becomes.
All the less relevant. I found that we had a track that was supposed to go on this called Turtle, but it made a comment to David Cameron being the Prime Minister, and I thought
That's a write-off.
it's not relevant, is it? Not relevant.
Was it anything to do with a pig?
No, it was like
He's mates with
what
Clarkson
was
or
it
something.
about? It was about him being mates with Jeremy Clarkson,
And even he's not relevant anymore.
and even Jeremy Clarkson's not relevant anymore.
He's gone.
And there was another bit about.
He's about to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, he
He's
did it. I
not,
watched
is
it
he?
last
Oh,
night.
and he
Hang
did
on, as a
Very good.
contestant?
No, he's the host.
Wait, what do you mean?
He'd fail at both,
He's
either
the
way.
host
But
of
he's
the
Chris
new-
Tarrant now,
It's
yeah.
Chris Tarrant.
Get out of town.
And none of them could get it. Which word was able to be spelt on one line of the keyboard? Oh, T. He got it first time. That's me. I'm pointing to myself. Salad. That
Note,
was the
he's
word.
pointing to himself.
Salad,
The
yeah.
middle line of the keyboard. Knew it.
Is that
from
the only
offset.
word?
No, it was between salad,
Oh, I see.
lager, I don't know, bechamel sauce, and something else.
You can
but-
spell bechamel sauce.
No, you
That's impressive.
It wasn't actually on the examples. It's just what came to mind.
Well, I'm glad it's back and it's back on form.
It's
That's
not-
all I can say.
It's not very good.
That is-
The guy that was doing it was, one, he was a bit of a fucking thickie, and two, it just was so unenthusiastic. He was saving up. He wanted the money for a people carrier, which I think, come on, at least lie. At least say you want it for a fucking, I don't know, breast
Speedboat.
implants for your wife and a speedboat, not a fucking people carrier. But anyway,
You've got a weird penchant for
Sorry, what was that pronunciation?
a penchant.
as the resident
Penchant.
Frenchman. What the fuck was that?
I mean, for zeitgeisty lyrics, there's also a lyric that is unused now about ISIS.
Ice cream for ISIS.
No, we all scream for ISIS.
Oh, I don't remember. How
Ice
yeah,
cream,
that's gone as well. That's
I
not relevant. No
scream,
one
you
cares about them
scream, we
anymore.
all scream.
That was it. That was a great
ISIS.
lyric. I like that. Yeah.
But it's not on the album, and not for that reason. It's just that, but it's weird that I guess it's not something we've considered before, but you do have some quite current
No, I've tried to turn
themes.
that down now.
Yeah, they get lost in the past though.
Tried to. I'm sick of being relicized by the continual movement of time.
When did you become sick of it?
Relicized. It's a brilliant word.
How long ago would you say you became sick of it?
I don't know. Last year.
In the last year. So well after we finished recording this album.
Yes. But in my life now, I won't be relicized again.
So what's next?
Well, we're going to do a few shows, hopefully to promote this album. We've been sitting on it like a big nest egg for quite some time. Not a nest egg. I mean, that makes it sound it's going to make us $1 million. But I mean, we do have to do something with it. We've been sitting on it for some time, and it's finally come around to release time. We're very proud of it. We're pleased with the way it's turned out. And the vinyl pressing that Truthseeker have put together looks grand, and we're very keen to sell it to you all for much more than it's worth. So, with that in mind,
Exactly what it's worth.
Less.
exactly what it's worth.
Less. Let's go with that.
So £11.99.
$11.99. I
like a
judged
good
this
price.
the worth of it to
Yes.
be exactly equivalent to $11.99.
We were saying earlier the heavyweight vinyl.
And
Really,
the heavyweight
yeah.
vinyl is
nice,
fucking lovely.
yeah.
So we spent this afternoon packing it. It looks great, and we're going to be doing our very best to do a few shows around the place to sell it to you face to face. I have moved away to the West Country, so we're going to try and do one gig in Bristol. We're going to try and do London. We'll try and do Brighton, and we'll try and do Tunbridge Wells. I think there's all those gigs are in the works, and hopefully we'll try and do that. Also, your mates Rope there have very kindly invited us to come do some dates with them. So with a bit of luck, we'll attempt to jump on a few of those at the very least, and basically just play live. I think we have a greater effect live anyway than we do on.
That's
record.
how I
So-
I became aware.
Yeah, so fingers crossed we can. Thank you, Phil, for that. By the way, thanks for coming to our show and enjoying us.
That was a great show.
Thanks, man.
But I didn't write. So that funny story.
Oh.
How funny.
Well, it's not really that funny, but
It's just like when I got my current job, and the fella that I was working with a year later, told me I was the only one that turned up to the interview.
That's funny.
Is it going to be that sort of
I
story?
think it's
Is that
up there.
true?
Yeah.
So I meant to see another band, but you guys turn up and fuck it, alright, this is fine.
Very good.
For a good week, I was saying I saw this fantastic band at the weekend. I bloody loved it. They were called Recent Vegan,
Recent Vegan, yeah.
which is Jake's
That was-
fake.
Jake Card out of the lectures that they have, yeah. He decided he was going to create a character called Recent Vegan who he would book onto bills all over the country and then never show up to, and would somehow create some kind of really strong sort of myth like MF Doom or like
Almost did it, man. So.
like
it's
some
working.
Done it. He's
like some
a
kind of
treat for him.
mysterious enigmatic force, and he booked himself on that show that we were playing. I'm fairly sure he didn't play. Yeah, weird. So you thought we were called Recent Vegan.
I feel a goddamn fool. I'd say for a good I think it was a week. I was just, what are they called? And I
Well,
looked
did
at the
someone
bill.
go, they're not called Recent Vegan.
I looked at the bill and I thought Recent Vegan. And I thought, well, that sounds cynical, doesn't it? And they were cynical. So
It does fit, actually. Should we change the
So
name?
true. Perhaps we should have named ourselves Recent Vegan.
and it's until I got corrected.
Who corrected you?
Steve actually corrected me.
Oh,
He was
right.
like, the trio were there. I was like, that wouldn't have been them. That would have been TOR.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah, that is a funny story. I didn't know that. Well, I feel as if we make a greater impact live, and I'm glad you felt that way also. I think it's when we don't forget our songs halfway through, Seb.
Which never happens, Paul. When we don't drop our sticks, Paul.
Yeah, good point.
Well, you got a good another 30 seconds before you need to hit another
That's
drum.
exactly it, yeah. I often pop out for a little wee and get another drink in and I'm back. What note am I on? Same one as always said. Alright, thanks.
I think that when we do a good job, I think when we're all in form and when we're tight, I think we do a good job. I think people enjoy us. I think that it may be a niche audience, but if they're there, they're going to get behind it, and I think that it's worth doing, and we're much louder, I think, live.
50% louder
at least 50% louder. And then every time we get off stage, just going to go, oh, that's a bit loud, wasn't it? That's a bit more rock and roll than we're used to doing, isn't it? But every time, like, I don't remember ever playing lightly, or but you're always surprised at how heavy we are every time, I guess. I guess there's no attempt to ever be heavy. That's the point, right? Because we're by no means a metal band. In fact, I think that all three of us, quite frankly, find metal music in general to be fairly embarrassing.
Was it Metal Hammer material?
Indeed. Hey, that's a joke about Seb's brother was in Metal Hammer magazine, music magazine material.
Yeah.
No, it was in Metal Hammer music.
And considering...
Metal Hammer magazine.
Wait, try it for the fourth time.
He was in the magazine.
He was in the
Metal
magazine.
Hammer one.
And considering he's not a musician... Well, he is a musician. He's actually a much better guitarist than me, but don't tell
but
him.
only like a bedroom guitar player.
Is he?
Yeah.
You're like a front room guitar player.
I am a front room guitar player. Thank you for that, Tris. That's the first compliment I've had from him. That's great. But yeah, and he was in Metal Hammer magazine. I was like, this is while we were recording.
Why don't you tell everyone why he was in Metal Hammer music magazine?
I don't think I need to give him
Oh,
more
well,
promotion.
he
He's
doesn't
doing
need
perfectly
promotion.
well on his
He'll
own.
do his own promotion.
Yeah, he's
but
doing perfectly well.
Nevertheless,
No, he
It
works.
just seems like we're lacking some important context here.
So my brother is a very intelligent guy.
My brother.
Well, exactly. You see, there you go, bastard.
does
But
sound
yeah,
like
he
that,
works for Horrible Histories, and is writing a book, second book, and he's the older one, but he looks younger and he's more intelligent. And
He has
doesn't-
won a BAFTA.
He doesn't drink, and he's won several BAFTAs. He plays guitar better than me.
He's thinner, Bav.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's got nicer hair as well.
So why was he in it?
I think he was interviewed because he's really into his sort of
Oh, so he's like a
Cody
celebrity.
Cambria.
he is a bit like one, yeah. And he loves sort of Avenged Sevenfold and bands like that. So he
Okay.
was in Metal Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning at this point, several bands we have released have been interviewed within Metal Hammer.
And there is
And
nothing wrong with
and we
Metal
like
Hammer.
all of them.
Well, there is nothing wrong
Very
with
much.
Metal Hammer.
There's nothing. No,
No, there isn't. It's just we want to be in it and we're not allowed to be. So that's it.
Yeah. I don't want this bit to come across as that we're throwing shade. We're not.
No, not at all.
It's just one of the lyrics.
I think that it's just that we're not that. It's just not the sort of thing we're going for at all.
Except me. I love Metal Hammer music.
I think no. Actually, the point is because it comes
That's the
after
one I
that.
wanna be in.
It comes after
Let's
the thing
make
about
it
Steve
happen.
Lamacq, doesn't it? So it's that similar sort of like, no, we're not going to be in Steve
I want
Lamacq
an
or
OK
Metal Hammer.
style wedding, but in Metal Hammer music magazine.
I think
You're
you can
already
make it
married.
Yeah.
I'm getting married again to one of these metal women.
Pandora out of the comics, out of Kerrang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Pandora comics, yeah.
Fantastic.
I think we've got nothing against Metal Hammer at all.
I
It's
hope
just
that's
a-
not coming across.
They're the best.
No, I think that we're just a bunch of fucking cynical hipsters, aren't we? And that's what's happened. Like we've accidentally sounded
absolutely true,
a
yeah.
bit heavy.
You've made sure, for one, that he won't appear on the Steve Lamacq show,
This is not good.
and that you have
Oh, no,
Groucho Marx said I wouldn't want to be
I've
part
Oh,
only
of a
just
club that
worked
would
this
have
all
me as a
out,
member.
Phil. You've been doing this
didn't
all
he say?
wrong.
Yeah. But this is a club that doesn't want us as.
That's
a
very
member.
much how TOR feel about the Steve Lamacq show, isn't it?
I don't think he'd want us as a member of his club. I think actually what's going on here is we're.
You're absolutely right, unfortunately.
Do you think there's like a sense of like therapeutic catharsis going on? Like you need it. You need to meet in the room as a you know,
With Steve
a
Lamacq.
trio. No,
Just have a little punch up.
you know, like when you play shows or you get together and you write. Do you feel there's a certain level of, you know, you're getting something off your chest, like a need?
I think that's true when we do gigs, certainly.
Yeah.
I think when we do rehearsal, it's just unbearable. But it's like, you know.
No, but you've
'Cause
said in the
it's-
past, I think that you have a happy, nice life with your wife and your kid and your cat, right? And you're nice to them all week long. And
Yeah,
you've said in the
well-
past that when you come to band practice, it's an excuse to be a cunt.
Well,
and that gets it
I don't
out
know
of
if
your
I've
system.
It gets it out of your
said
system,
that,
yeah.
But I don't think I've said that. But
No.
certainly I've got
I've got it on recording.
I've got nothing left for you clowns. That's certainly.
But I mean, it is a weird. I think it is though.
It's really.
Not
It's
for
just.
you necessarily, but I mean, we have a terrible time.
But the whole thing is just so bloody miserable. You can't walk in having a nice time and go, all right, guys, how's it going? It's nice to see you. Oh, lovely. You know,
Yeah.
there's none of that.
Basically, we're not
And we're not
mates.
friends either. So
Yeah, we're not friends.
I think this is unbearable, actually. Without a
came a
guitar in
point-
front of me to protect me from you.
There
This
came
is-
about 3 years ago, there came a point where Seb and Tristan and I no longer saw each other socially at all, and met up begrudgingly
Yeah.
once a week or once every 2 weeks to do like a 3 or a 6 hour practice.
That's 6
And-
hours. That's a
And we're
long
just
time.
at each other's throats the whole time, and it is a weird catharsis because we are all old friends, but we just don't have time to socialise with one another anymore for various reasons. So the only
Mostly
times we
because we
see
hate
each
each
other
other, yeah.
is during rehearsal, which means that we're just a bit mean to each other all the time. I think that we very rarely have a nice time. It does mean that when we come out the other end with 7 fully formed, decently recorded tracks that other people might be interested in.
Available now.
We've got a weird little bit of, well, it's not available yet, but available soon. We have a weird sense of pride there because there's a lot.
Do you know what day?
The 25th.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
It's the 25th, right?
Is
25th
that
of
when
May,
Harry
guys.
and Meghan are getting married?
I bloody hope so.
On the same day as Harry and Meg's are getting married.
Well done, Harry and Meg.
If you want to buy them a wedding gift and post it,
I thought we were playing at the wedding,
Buckingham
aren't we?
Palace.
It's the launch party. That's
The perfect wedding gift. But it does mean that every
sure
time we
they might
meet up
want
and
to
get
these.
together, I think we have a good time. And
Yeah.
although we don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, from a lyrical point of view, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like it seems that it'd be quite liberating to sing those lyrics live.
yeah, that's true. It is, yeah,
It's a shame no one can hear them.
that's true. Yeah,
We have a great trouble live achieving a sound where,
that was great trouble.
well, I don't think we've ever really achieved it.
Well, I wouldn't say it's great trouble. It's just
I don't think we've ever played a gig where the lyrics are...
all right, boys. Fucking hell. Here
Honestly.
we go again.
Honestly, we will argue over anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never done a gig where the lyrics have been, crystal clear, where the vocals are heard. Although we have had times when the vocals have been clearer, and a lot of people come up afterwards and go, "Oh, I didn't realise I had a good old laugh when he talked about,
Beardy cunts.
Right, beardy cunts or whatever, man." Or I had a good laugh when he said dodecahedrons, I can take them or leave them. That's quite funny, isn't it? But of course, most people aren't hearing that normally because the mix is not such that any lyrics are clear enough.
No, I had no trouble hearing the lyrics when I saw you guys.
Live in the
Yeah.
basement
Yeah.
of the Sussex, did you not?
Yeah, I was cracking up.
Oh, wow. Fucking Phill was laughing his head off there.
But like, I think Steve, when we were writing the press release, and it came to for fans of like what would someone who'd listened to the album compare it to? Funnily enough, Stuart Lee, a comedian, came into the mix.
Yeah.
yeah. These guys like Stuart Lee, don't they?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Me and Seb like Stuart Lee. It's weird because Tristan's such an incredible contrarian that everything you might assume he'd be into, he just definitely probably isn't into, right? So, what are your thoughts on Stuart Lee?
He's alright. Yeah, he's got
Too liberal.
got a lot of weight. It's looking a bit porky.
That's so true.
He looked fat
He
and
is looking,
depressed.
he is looking fat. He looked fat and depressed and fat. It's a reference to the Stuart Lee people.
Morrissey's let himself go.
But it's right there. That's weird though, isn't it? Because you don't really like that sort of thing. You don't really like anything you're compared to. Is that why you're constantly trying to avoid being compared to anything?
Oh, he's like Madonna.
It's true though, isn't it? 'Cause people will say shit about the way what
Yeah,
he does,
and we'll resist it.
and then he completely resists that and goes, "I don't want to sound like that, dickhead.
Oh, we're such a bunch of wankers.
I'm going to try and sound different to that."
I don't know.
It's been a long day.
I guess.
I think
I think you're a bit like Stuart Lee though.
This is a what do you call it? A descent into self-analysis too far. I feel like I might not come back out again.
So buy the memoir of Tristan Ravenscroft in a couple of years' time to know the truth and to answer the question that Phill has asked us this day.
I don't want to be the podcast that broke the band up.
Look at our wedding in Metal Hammer magazine. You'll believe that.
We'll make it happen. All right. Well, that's anything else you want to say? Already packing up.
I'm gonna turn you up there. Let's go.
I'm clearing up, man. I'm clearing up the beers. I've made a
up,
right mess
tidy
with the
up.
beers. We've been to Al. We've got some beers and that. I've got half a ham and
Half a
cheese
panini,
toasty
yeah, a
in this
bit of
bag
panini,
here. It's
yeah.
not that I'm keen to eat it. It's that it's there still. Have I got anything else to say, Seb?
Have you got anything else to say? No, I don't.
I would like to
think so.
say that I would like to encourage you all to buy our album and to listen to it with an open mind. It isn't for everyone. We didn't make it imagining that it was. But you know, I think that
But, yeah. Sorry. Go on.
I'm proud of it all the same. I'm proud of our output in the last few years. I think that what we've done is pretty decent. I don't imagine it's for everyone at all. But if you do listen to it, I hope you enjoy it. I think that's
Well said. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Seb. Cheers.
Yeah, you're
mate.
welcome.
Should we shake hands?
It doesn't matter. No one can see it.
As I say, Phil, have you reupholstered your speaker grill with like a sparkly dress?
Oh, that is nice.
No, that's a Hughes and Kettner cabinet.
Oh, okay.
I've just taken the Hughes and Kettner off it.
Yeah, it looks like you've reupholstered a Marshall cabinet with like a glittery dress.
No, because it's got the.
It's a heap of shit. Heap of shit, that is.
Okay.
Put that bit on it. That was
Put this-
stellar.
Make sure this filler goes on the podcast. It's important.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say? You want to
No.
say something about the album?
It was all right. I think. I think it was all right. I think we got to the bottom of that. I think it was all right.
Translation. I'm really proud of that. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. I'm chuffed with
There's
it.
some quiet
Chuffed a bit.
ones, some loud ones, some in-betweeny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should be chuffed. I think it's a bloody good listen.
Thanks, mate.
Bloody good
Yeah.
listen, start to finish.
I've listened to it a few times drunk and had a great time.
Don't skip any tracks unless you're bored. In which case,
Do as you
It
please.
was just,
Brilliant.
do you want with it? Just for goodness sake, give us your money.
That's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
So, thanks for having us.
Oh no, thank you.
No, you're very welcome. I didn't know what we were.
I'll be with the rest of the beady cunts, I suppose. Brimming with unspent sperm. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. He's a flicky head ponce, but it's got nothing to do with me. Fizzled out and flushed away. Thugs beat me with a toaster because I'm gay. Insert crumpet and waffle based puns here. I don't usually have my first emotion till around 10:30. But I was ready for a change. My, what a wonderful smile. My. What a wonderful smile. I am the ring throwing, mug throwing, shape throwing, fucking bastard at the bottom of the sea.
see a grown man cry. Well, so do I.